What's going on, yo? Chesley Roll back with another video here on the Verselab MV1. Don't think I ever showed this this way before, right? Showing how I go about doing it. Just a little short video. I ain't making this shit too long, so hopefully it don't run too long, right? I just built a new kit, so I was just checking out my sounds then. Yeah. Went through my samples and pull out a cake, some different side stick I got here. This open hi-hat, this closed hi-hat. There's another side stick that I really dig in. This one, see? 3 different ones. Little tambourine. This is my my guitar. Yeah. Can't live without that in my music. A nice clap. Another snare drum. A little reverb. Yeah. Yeah. And this is like another type of snare, skin and stick kind of sound. We don't really use that. I'll just use it at a something like that, you know what I mean? And this is just a sample of a nice brick. Yeah. Timbali. 2 toms. Crash. That's usually how I set up my 16 pads them on this. Because I only could have 1 drum, right? Per song. Basically, all my other like if I'm an Akai or machine, I could have different drums and just punch, you know what I mean? But on this, I just set up instruments, drums to go with the song. So I always need a crash, nice kick, couple of variation of these side sticks or whatever, some toms, right? Good hi-hat and an open hi-hat, you know what I mean? So I will change up these here a little bit now and again, and this, right? But most of the time, this is how I set. This is how I have my kit, my drum right there. Anyway, I just built this kit. I have it in this slot right here, as you can see blinking. Because if I hit this slot, it's a reggaeton kit I was working on. It's a reggaeton kit I got in here. But I'm assuming now, if I go back here and go to that kit, which is the kit I just built, and I said I want to let's say I want to copy this kit. I said I want to take this kit and put it here. Just hit copy, boom. Right? So now it's there. Right? It's there. And then I got my, this is a template I made already, so I have my bass in there already. It's a round bass. And then I got some in the kick. I always got me a muted guitar. I don't use this to do my instruments. I use the keyboard, right? I use my MIDI keyboard, from my MIDI keyboard into the Verselab. Some people ask me how I use it. I use it via MIDI, right? What I do? I come in out. Let's see. In. Out of my MIDI keyboard into the Verselab. That's how I get it to work. And then I use the controls on this to change the different instruments, right? I don't do it from here. So let's say, for instance, if I wanted drums, I'd hit kit right here, right? And right here, I know my kit is in number 4 slot. So I'll go over my keyboard. I'm gonna go to the channel. And that's number 4 slot right there. Right? See? I could program my drums from here, but I do my drums from the pads here. That's me playing with my hand on the keys and the MIDI controller, right? So right there in my program, I'll just change my program here and the MIDI keyboard to match the program here. In this case, it's in slot 4, which is, I call that track 4, right? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 tracks. So this would be track 4. So I'll just go on my MIDI keyboard, right? And go to the program and change it to 4. And there will be my drums. So I'm supposed to go to 3. I change the program to 3. There's my my Rhodes, my FM E phaser, whatever. And so on and so on, right? Track 2, my keys, right? I just go here, change. And track 1, my guitar, my muted guitar. Just change my muted, boop. And so on through the 7 tracks. So right now I was working on the drums. So let's clear that, right? And I can't remember how you did the shift sequence. There's a metronome. Put my metronome on. Let's change the tempo to about 88. Right, metronome on, boom off. Let's say I was gonna build a little 1 measure thing. 2, 3, 4, and 1, 2. See, still in the green light. 1 green. That's 1 measure. If I wanted a 2 measure, hit. Just hold on, copy, boom. Hopefully most of you guys know that already. And then I hit play, and I'm gone. Check it out. Right? I can't tell you how much time I forget to take off the metronome, because once I hit record, metronome come out. In my other machines, then I totally forget to take it off with this. So you gotta go back here. That's one of my biggest pet peeves with this thing. You gotta turn on the metronome and turn it off. Anyway, boom, turn it off. From there, I don't use it again because I got my beat there to follow already, right? So I gone. Right? So right there, in Bobby there, slot 1. Right? Let's say I got them drums. That'll be my intro most of the time. You know what I mean? So I got like a 2 measure right there. So then I'll figure out what I want to do now. Most of the time it's chords for me. Right? Most of the time it's chords for me. So I'll go to my keys, which is, let's say that's 3. Now let's find some kind of chords that I'm playing. You're no keyboard player, so don't judge me, eh? So let's say this is the first card here, right? So I'll make that a 4 measure 2. Hit start. Okay. That'll be my first card right there. Second card will be. Second card. Right? So let's just say just feeling something like that. A nice 2 card kind of thing, right? So I just put in the E phaser FM Rhodes sound, whatever, and then let's say I go to my grand piano now. Same thing as well. Copy my measure, change my sound. Right? And then gone. Right? Second sound card. Right? So right there, just got them 2 tracks in here playing. This one and this one. So I want to put a little guitar next to that. Copy again the measure. Change the sound. Right, change your octave down, and then I just put in a little, check it out, 3, 4. Don't like that, hit clear, sequence, boom. Again, right? And a little trick for me is how to do my volume for my, that works for me, right? How I do my volume is I go to my instrument here. Let's say we go to the kit. I always put my level on my kit to all. I just scroll it up to all. It could go from 0 to 127, so 127. And then what I'll do now is I'll go into the kit, individual instruments, right? I'll just hit, come out of that, I'll just hit edit and the instrument that I want. Let's say in this case, let's come out of that. Let's say the kit. So we want to work with the kit. So I hit edit, the kick, right? Boom. It comes up on, it's supposed to come up on level. And see the level? I got it at 75. So then I just dial in a different number here for how I want to hear my instruments. I'm like, I want to hear my hi-hat and my kick and my snare or whatever. I want to hear, you know what I mean? I want them sticking out the mix. So let's say, hear that? Got up to 86. Right? I want to stick out a little more. Hit. So I bring that up to like maybe 112. I got the kick. The kick is at 75. So say I want to bring the kick up a little more. Yeah, hear the kick? Now, a little trick too is that I will scroll over to my EQ switch. Remember now, whenever you EQ in any of these instruments here, you got to make sure that switch is on. Because if that's switching on, you're not going to hear what you edit, what you do, right? So let's say I got that switch off, and I go to the kick, and let's say I tune it down. Let's say I want to tune it down or up or make it bigger, fatter, whatever the case be. You don't really hear it. But if you go to the EQ switch and turn that on, boom, and go back. Now to tune it now, key offset. See that? The dumbest thing I ever see. I'm sorry, but I just got to put it out there, man. You know what I mean? So, and guess what? You got to do that for every part, for every, yeah. It's a pain in the ass. As you can see why a lot of times I just go to the big dog, then, well, you don't need to do that, right? I changed that just changed. I don't have to turn on no switch per every one to do that, you know what I'm saying? Or then I got to do it there and then copy the drum with all that setting to all the different parts. It's just like, that's so much work around and work. Again, we need to start getting into that. But again, that's how, in case, because a lot of people ask me, but you know, I try tuning the drums, but it don't change unless you have that EQ switch, unless that's not on, because most of the time it's off. Not most of the time, it comes off. It comes off. You got to put it on, right? And then when you make your changes now, then you could hear it. You'll hear your changes, right? So that's just in case somebody out there looking at this video and they don't realize that. All right, boom. So again, got my drums in there. We're still here in section 1. Right, just make some drums here. Like I said, I built this kit, and this is a template that I had in here, saved already with my 7 different instruments in here that I want to use. Pull it up, I'm good to go. But I changed out the drums today. I didn't like the drums that was in there, so I just went and changed out the drums and saved it back again. So these are the drums that I got in here right now. And we're just showing you just a little trick of the trade, how I get my drums to stick out as a drummer. I'm a drummer as well, so when I hear my tracks them or my song playing, I want my drum to be there in your face. I don't want it back there, I want it up here. You know what I mean? Because my music, my genre, reggae, most of the time my Caribbean music, is that drum and bass in your face. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, you don't hear no reggae music with the bass way behind it, no. Bass underneath, the grumbling, fat, big, and your drum in your face, you know what I'm saying? So when I mix in and I out there playing my gigs and I got my backing tracks playing, I want you to look up there and see me up there playing and saying, damn, them drums kicking, you know what I'm saying? Yeah, I need to have my drums kicking all the time. So whenever I sequence in a song on the MV1, this is a trick that I do. Like I said, for me, this works for me. I go to kit, right? And then I go to the mixer, and I turn my kit up to all. I max it out at 127. And then I go to kit, make sure you're in note. And then I go to the individual instrument edit, and I put the level. I change the level. So right here, 79, 680, you know what I mean, 91. Each of these might have a different value, level value. You know what I'm saying? Because I want my kick, my hi-hats, my snare, or my side stick, whatever I program it, I want them instrument to be kicking, you know what I mean, in your face. And that's how I get it. By maxing it out here in the mixer, and then going on the individual instrument. And so hopefully that little trick might make your drums then pop more, you know what I mean? See how you hear that sound? Hear that kick sound? Hi-hat will come out a little more. Hi-hat is at 95. So I'll just bring up the hi-hat. And then a lot of times it still need to sharpen up. Right? It still need to sharpen up for me. For me, right? So what I'll do, like I said, we'll go back up here now. Yeah, make sure this damn switch. Make sure this switch is on. Okay? EQ switch. Turn that on. And then I'll go back to the EQ now and I'll go to the high gain. You're on the hi-hat still. Right? And now listen to the hi-hat. You stick out more, so I'll have to do all that. That's how I get my instruments, them, especially my drums, man. That's how I get my drums, them, to sound like that. A lot of people were asking me that in my inbox, like how you get your drums to sound like it's not just me loading in my drums or my particular drums that I have. Because me being a drummer, I got samples my samples, them kicking. Right? The drums inside the Verselab, they ain't bad. They for the what they build them for what they build them for, dance music and you know, that's why it feels to me. So one good thing about the Verselab is that I could bring in my own drums. I bring in my own instruments. So 9 out of 10 times I'm using my drums that I bring in. I don't use the drums from the Verselab. But still, even when I bring in my drums, right? I gotta go in there and maybe fatten up the kick, make the kick stick out a little more, or do like what I just do with the hi-hat to make the hi-hat sizzle some more, right? Because it wouldn't sizzle as much as I want it to sizzle. Now look, see that ain't working? Why? You know why, right? The EQ switch is off. You need to put that on. Go back over to the high. Now it's sizzling, right? So them are some little tricks I just wanted to leave with you guys here today, man, about your drums, when you're building your drums and you're making your tracks, right? There's a bunch of little things you could do in here. These is things that I do to make my drums then pop, right? And even if whatever genre you doing, dance, hip-hop, R&B, pop, whatever you're doing, you want your drums them to be, kicking, man, all the time. Drums is what people that dance off. People don't dance off of the keys or the, or the strings or the horns. No, people dance off the drum, bro. The beat of the drum. That kicking it, that was just. You don't feeling it, you know what I'm saying? Yeah, I know you guys probably laughing. Yeah. But yeah, this is a way to make your drums then pop if you're using the Verselab MV1. And don't forget to turn off your metronome when you're done, before you're done, track out your song, because I have forgotten and I listen back to my track and I'm like, what's that tick? I'm like, shit, I forget to turn off the damn metronome. Yeah, that's one of the things I hope with an update that they bring out, that you don't have to, you could just hit record and your metronome come off. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. And when you take record off, it goes away. You don't have to go in there and manually turn it on and turn it off. It's a pain in the butt, man. So anyway, man, I hope you guys find this, beneficial. So when you're building your tracks, make your drums them kick. Yeah, make your drums them break the roof off, man. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, that's me when I doing my drum. My drums got to be in the kicking, man, like that. Hey. And I ain't edit these yet, as you can see. This thing's still low. Like if I want that, if I was gonna add a lick in there, 1, 2, right? Hear what that would sound. 1, 2. I would want that to stick out more, right? That wouldn't be good enough for me. So I'll have to go in there now, instrument, again, go to the level, turn that up, the way it's in your face, right? I'll have to go to the EQ switch again, make sure that on, and then go to the EQ in now, which you got low, you got a low EQ, a mid, and a high. I'll go to the low, I'll pop on a little bit of low on it, and then I'll go to the mid, put a little bit of mid in it so it could stick out through the mix more. Because when you got bass and keys and all of that playing, it still will cover it up. And then I will go to the high and just put a little high in it. Now listen to it now. 1, 2. Right? You hear that? That timbali stick out now just from the little EQ in. But again, don't forget, in order to make that happen, you have to put on your EQ switch to on. A lot of people don't tell you that. Nobody says that, right? So them is little things I had to learn on my own through trial and failure, man. I learned how to do all them little things. So anyway, man, said I wasn't gonna make this video too long. I hope this helped somebody using the Verselab MV1 and help you to make your kick and your drums them stick out more in your mix. All right? Much love. Keep banging out your beats and making your tracks, man. All right? Much love, man. Peace.